Okay, let's get started. Hello everybody and welcome to this webinar with Quuppa alongside NothingButNet Sports Tech. Today's webinar is titled Tracking Technology to Enhance Sports Experience and Provide a Safer Environment. My name is Jesse, I'm the marketing designer here at Quuppa and I'm going to be facilitating this discussion today. Just a bit of housekeeping before we get started. We will be having a Q&A session at the end of this webinar, so if you do have any questions at all, in the GoToWebinar control panel, there is a questions tab which you can flick down and you can ask your questions in there and we will get through the questions at the end of this presentation. Also joining me on the call, I have Tom Ruth, who's from Quuppa, so I'll let Tom go through the agenda and do some introductions. So, Tom, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Jesse, and welcome everyone. And it's a pleasure to be with you here on this summer morning. And so today, as Jesse said, I'm Tom Ruth. I'm Vice President of the Americas. I'm responsible for our business across a variety of partners. I'm pleased to introduce NothingButNet, who is one of the oldest Quuppa partners. And I'm excited to do this because as we've been delivering these series of webinars to the general public, as we've been describing a lot of IoT types of solutions that tip their hats to business optimization through asset tracking and in traditional IoT. And I'm excited today because this is not your generic IoT presentation that you're going to see from us. In that NothingButNet, who is one of our oldest partners who has worked with us in sports, is going to describe how the technology for RTLS, the RTLS technology that Quuppa designs, can be harnessed to deliver meaningful solutions for a variety of different sporting as well as smart building applications, which is, I think by their discovery, a logical extension. So with me is Ed Dvorak, who is going to lead the presentation from NothingButNet and their solution portfolio in the product organization that they have with Nagi, as well as social and NothingButNet offers. So with that, I'm going to introduce a little bit of Quuppa and what it is that our role is in this, and then I will hand it over to Ed to take the rest of the presentation. So a couple of quick bullets on Quuppa. We were founded in 2012 as a spinoff from Nokia Research, and our expertise is in harnessing radio frequency-based technologies and providing location services using that basis. Have 500 customers, offices around the world, shipping a mature product. A couple of key points I would like to highlight here. One is that Gartner has identified Quuppa as a visionary in indoor positioning, and the basis for that is in our use of Bluetooth technology, which has been around for a while, however, is not necessarily associated with accuracy. And Quuppa delivers sub-meter accuracy in real time, and that is being used in a variety of different situations here, and I'll highlight here going across in 2 different hockey leagues. And of course, the interesting aspect here is that if you can track a hockey puck that's flying at 100 miles an hour and the players on the ice who are skating at half that speed, chances are we can track your assets and workers in motion to deliver meaningful solutions. Today, we are going to talk about one such solution with NothingButNet Sports Tech, who has been in business using our technology for almost 5 years. Again, using the Bluetooth technology that we harness to deliver accuracy. This announcement, our use of Bluetooth was noticed by the BT SIG, or the Bluetooth Special Interest Group, and has recently promoted our use of Bluetooth to deliver accuracy. In that the silicon manufacturers, Nordic and Silicon Labs as an example, are now adopting the Quuppa profile to be able to deliver a Quuppa-centric solution. So we're very excited that these manufacturers are following what we're doing and using our tech. So I'll talk a little bit about how that works. Yessie, next slide, please. So our technology uses angle of arrival, and this is different from a lot of other Bluetooth solutions in that we are measuring using the angle of arrival information to calculate a position. And we do so in an accurate fashion by having the locators or our technology mounted above the tracking plane. We're receiving the transmission from the tags, and these are the items that are in motion that we're trying to follow. Those things are in broadcast mode. The tags broadcast to us, we receive the signal, we calculate the angle of its arrival and derive a position from a variety of different vantage points by having multiple locators cover the area. So in that particular case, this allows us to deliver sub-meter accuracy in real time, and this is what's being harnessed for the IoT of sports, as well as in a variety of different business applications. So accuracy being our calling card, the ability to be versatile by using a Bluetooth technology allows us to have a wide variety of Bluetooth-enabled devices that we're tracking. In this case, a tag ecosystem of different partners who manufacture tags that all work with Quuppa, and that ability allows us to render a position and give that location information so that our partners can make relevant use of it to solve these different business applications, whether that be sports, whether that be healthcare, whether that be warehouse management, for example, or animal husbandry. So in all these different cases, the ability to provide location in a wide variety of circumstances, lends to our versatility claim. The ability from a scale perspective, the solution has to be able to be placed in large areas where we're tracking millions of square feet, and to be able to provide a solution that solves this problem for full coverage in large areas is again another tenet of our solution. And then the last piece from being open, I already described how we can work with a wide variety of tag partners to be able to track those Bluetooth tags. But the other aspect of this is to send this information via an API so that all these different applications can make good use of our location technology. So in that case, we are not, we're just the technology component that delivers accuracy. We think that part is hard enough. So we let our partners take their expertise in the different vertical markets that they operate in and make use of the location positioning information that our solution or that our technology offers. With that, I'm going to introduce Ed Dvorak, who is a seasoned executive in sports and athletic industries, most recently from Spalding. And he is now leading the helm at NothingButNet, and will introduce their portfolio of solutions. And Ed, I'll let you take it from there.
Great. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. And thanks to Quuppa for this arranging and sponsoring and delivering this webinar. I think you guys can tell from Tom's brief summary of the organization why we've chosen Quuppa and why we've been partners since our beginning. We've chosen to stay with them on the journey that we're on. So thank you, guys. It is excellent technology, and it's allowed us to be as flexible and as responsive as we've been with our portfolio, which I'll take you through in a bit. And just to mention, I've got two colleagues on the phone as well. So if other people jump in and start talking about our product, that's who they are. It's Eugene Procopi. He's in our business development group for Nagy, and then Victor Gonzalez is our business development group and distributor program for NBN 23. So a little bit about NBN. We were founded in 14, a couple years after Quuppa, and we are a global sports technology company. We specialize in location tracking. Our corporate headquarters, global corporate headquarters, is in Valencia, Spain. And then we do have a headquarter here in the US, which is right now focusing primarily on social and Nagy. NothingButNet is the parent company, and the three main portfolio products, if you will, underneath. You can see them there. NBN, social, and Nagy. Aquatics is our Nagy Smart Pool. Our basketball tracking is an NBN 23 business. And then we've recently launched a business and office workplace optimization protection brand tool called Social. And so we'll talk about those. We'll talk mostly about social and Nagy as they're most relevant to the technology that we're talking about today. Okay, so now there is a lot of talk about location tracking going on, and I know, so I want to spend a minute or two just giving some insights to that. Now, I do understand I'm preaching to the choir here, guys. You all on the phone or on the call here can probably talk a lot more to this than I can, but for those who may not be as tech advanced, some of the interesting things happening with location tracking or why there's so much talk about them going on right now is primarily up till now, for the most part, from a layman's perspective, GPS has been the leading tracking technology or leading tracking device, if you want to call it that. But it's really used for outdoor, or so far has been used primarily for outdoors. Yet there's a growing desire and need and ask for something indoors. And if you take a look at the pie chart, you can see why most of our time is spent one way or another is spent indoors. And so being able to track indoor activity is highly important. And then obviously with the COVID coming along, it's really raised people's interest and needs for something that can help them track personnel in an indoor and enclosed setting. A study by Markets and Markets actually projected that the market for location tracking is projected to grow from about $6 billion today to over $17 billion in just 5 years. So that's a 22% CAGR. So extreme growth forecasted. And again, I think it's probably the catalyst for this is unfortunately has been COVID. And so we're seeing an awful lot of interest coming from an awful lot of different corners of the world. You know, again, what Markets and Markets is saying is they think that the first early adopters, a wave of demand is going to come from industry businesses and professional workplaces. And we've seen that ourselves from some of the people that have been reaching out and contacting us about some of our products. So just to give kind of our perspective on location tracking, our technology has been used in a number of places around the world. The first one you can see is the YMCA. We've partnered with the YMCA in the US. We're implementing our product in there. We got 2 of them there already after just talking to them actually mid-year last year. And we're looking for many more of those. We've also been working for about 2 years with a company called GoFit. They're a full-service health club. They're the largest in Spain. So they would be like the LA Fitness or the Lifetime Fitness group here in the US in terms of health clubs. And then we've also got our technology. We were asked by Microsoft's Global Innovation Center to set up a virtual pool in their center. And so we've done that as well as implementing social in there. So that is being showcased. And then the largest basketball facility in Spain asked us to come and put in our location tracking system. So again, whether it be social, whether it be NBN 23 or whether it be Nagy, the product has been tested, it's trusted, and it's in some pretty high profile environments around the world today. So Nagy, let's talk about Nagy Smart Pool. This is the first portfolio business that we had mentioned earlier. And simply put, I think some of you may be familiar with Nagy, but simply put, what Nagy Smart Pool does is that it elevates the swimming experience through a couple of things: increased swimmer engagement, but it also offers an added level of safety. And we say an added level of safety because although it's an anti-drowning product, it is not designed to replace lifeguards. It's meant to be an added and incremental level of safety. The swimming experience being elevated is primarily driven through the performance aspect of Nagy Smart Pool, which I'll explain to you. But it's funny because in the past, I guess the easiest way to describe us is what people have said to us. It's, you guys are like the Peloton of swimming, or Orange Theory of swimming, because of how we take the performance aspect of the sport or of the activity, and we provide it back to the enthusiasts in real time. And for swimming, that's not really out there unless you buy a watch of some sort, quite expensive watch. So we do this a little different than other people do, so we'll get into that. But we like those comparisons. We're happy with it. We'll take it. So I'm going to show a video here. This is a video we put together 2 years ago. The product has advanced since then, but it will give you an idea. It's only a 1-minute video, but it will give you an idea of what Nagy can do from both a performance aspect and also a safety aspect. Thanks, Jesse, for doing that. Let's see. Okay. So that gives you, and like I said, that was 2 years. So you'll see what we've added actually to the proposition. It's quite significant, and it's added significant value to the product. And a lot of that is because of the flexible technology that I mentioned before that we use with Quuppa. So, but I just want to bring one slide and mention to your attention, talk about a couple of things because it's relevant to swimming. And I call it just, swimming's advantage. And there's a couple of different things. First of all, as things stand right now with COVID, there's a lot of concern. There's a lot of things happening with health clubs. People are, they're shutting down for now. Some of them have opened up, but there's an awful lot of concern about COVID relative to exercising and so forth. Well, one of the things that the CDC has come out and said is that the spread of the virus is highly unlikely, and that there is no evidence that it does spread from person to person in pools, hot tubs, or spas. And the other thing they said is actually if you have a pool and you're properly maintaining it, disinfecting it with the chlorine, bromide, and such, that will actually inactivate the virus. And again, that's from the CDC. So, in essence, what we're saying is that when you take a look at a YMCA or a health club, the safest place in the building is probably the pool area. And then there's other things that are really relevant to this point in time. So naturally, it's social distance because, as a lot of you know, a lane is typically 8 feet wide. So if you have 1 to 2 people per lane going in, if it's 2 going in an opposite direction, you've got social distancing there. You're practicing social distancing. So by virtue of swimming, you are social distancing. The other thing that's becoming very important since the closing of health clubs, and we don't know what's going to happen with that going forward, but is the fact that whereas running or rowing or certain things you can do virtually with the clubs, it's very difficult for members to virtually swim. And so there's a heightened reliance and dependency on the pool area. So that pool member becomes very, very important to your facility because they need your facility to be open. They need your facility, your aquatic facility, to be offering value to them. And then the other nice thing about it is, unlike, let's say, football or basketball or just about every other sport, swimming isn't something you age out of or skill out of. You can swim from cradle to grave, and that's something that really adds to the popularity of swimming going forward. So, try it again. Can you advance it, Jesse? Mine, it's not advancing on my end. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so Nagy Smart Pool, it has two elements to it. Nagy Go and Nagy Guard. Nagy Go is a real-time performance monitoring and viewing system, and it's for primarily recreational and competitive swimmers. Nagy Guard is as I had said earlier, is a continuous monitoring and protection tool for added level of safety, whether you're a competitive swimmer or whether you're a child, whether it's your children swimming. You can see there's three pieces of hardware here: the wearable tag, the locator, and the server. Okay, these pieces of hardware support both the Nagy Go system and the Nagy Guard system. So there's not a redundancy in hardware, which helps keeps down the cost. And it is all Bluetooth driven again. So how it works is the wearable tag, the Nagy tag has a constant signal being emitted from it to the locators that are placed up above in the ceiling. The Nagy tag is clipped on the side of the goggles, so just on the arm of the goggles, because the objective is to have that tag be out of water as much as possible. And as long as it's out of the water, that tag, that signal is being sent and received by the locator. The locator is then sending that message, which includes all of the data that goes along with it, sends it to our server. The server will automate the software, the data. It'll update the location, confirm the signal monitoring, and it's also connected to the internet for some added benefits that we've recently included in the program. So those three hardware pieces will drive both systems, but where they're different then is from this point on with the user. Okay, so on the Nagy Go, what the server then will send all of the information to these two TV screens that we will have in the pools. There will be poolside. They'll either be both on one end of the pool, or we'll have one on one end and the other on the other end. And you can see that the content is different. The robustness of the content is driven by your membership level. So we have two memberships. We have Nagy Freemium, which is a free membership. Anybody can use the system. You simply pick up a Nagy tag at the tag station, put it on into your goggles, you jump in the water, and these metrics show up on the screen. When you're done swimming, you put the tag back. Okay, so if you're tag number 2, your lengths, your distance, and your time in the water is all being tracked for you, and this is all being recorded and displayed in real time as you're swimming. If you're a Nagy Premium member, that's a subscription membership. So for $78 a year, what this offers you is a number of things. First of all, every year when you pay your dues, your fee, you receive a brand new tag. So now you have your own tag. Secondly, you have access to the Nagy Zone or the Nagy app, which stores all of your information. So you can see how you have a a much more significant level of data, of metrics to read out here. All of this is stored in your account. You build an account, it's all stored. The other thing that we make that's possible here is you have personal best notifiers. So if you set a record, a personal record for pace, for example, it will notify you at the time that you set that record. Okay. It also will have things like challenges, swimming, swimming the English Channel or swimming the Great Lakes or whatever it may be. Our software will provide and make available to premium members a variety of challenges that they can use as well, to, as we say, to elevate the experience. That's the Nagy Go. The Nagy Guard, the safety aspect, the way it works is the server will send its information from the locators, from the tag, to two pieces of hardware here. The one on the left is simply a tablet. Okay, so the tablet will show where the swimmers are in the pool. If they're blue, there's no concerns, everything is working fine. But the way it will work is that if a tag is submerged for 30 seconds or more or less, because you can set the time, the facility, the administrator can set that time. But if the tag is submerged underwater for longer than that, and the signal thus is no longer being sent to the locator, right? The system then knows that there's a problem and will send an alert to the lifeguard who will be wearing that smartwatch next to it. If it's the first alert, because it's a two-step alert system, if it's the first alert, the face of the watch will go yellow, the watch vibrates, and the bubble on the tablet will go yellow. And this tablet will set an alarm off. Now, the beauty of the tablet is that it's a tablet, it's not a big bulky screen or anything, so you can put the tablet wherever you want it to be, wherever your protocol would fit best. Okay, so the alarm's going off, the lifeguard's alerted, he immediately does a visual check. Usually the swimmer is just maybe a high-skilled swimmer, a highly skilled swimmer, and he's underwater long enough, longer than most, because he can be, and the alarm has gone off. If that's the case, if he finds that there's no distress by the visual check, he simply pushes the button on his smartwatch and the alarm shuts off. If the alarm does not go off, for whatever reason, after another 20 seconds or 30 seconds, a secondary alarm goes off. The face of the watch goes red. It shows you, and you can see on the picture here, it will show you where in the pool that tag is. And the bubble on the tablet will go red and again set off an alarm. So the reason why this is so effective is because we know that the lifeguards are at the pool, but we also know that via distractions, their attention is diverted. By having this thing do two things: vibrate on the lifeguard's wrist, he's notified, even if he's looking away, he's notified. But then the tablet is also notifying other safety personnel that there's a potential problem. And if there is a problem, then what happens is they just simply respond to their normal emergency action protocol, whatever that would be. So it's just notifying them. So instead of having supervision 50% of the time, you now have supervision over the safety of your pool 100% of the time. And that's how that works. Just to give you a kind of a broader view, bird's eye view, this is the way it would look. You've got your two TVs here set up. You've got the Nagy base for the swimming safety over here, or wherever you would want it. The swimmer, the lifeguard with the Nagy tag, and then here would be the locators. The locators will either be above the pool, coming from the ceiling, or they will be attached to high up on a wall if the wall is close enough to the deck, to the pool. Again, it's all Bluetooth technology, except for once you get from the server to the internet. And we do that because we run a cloud-based system for the apps. So all of that data is that what is stored. However, we don't always use the facilities network. We will use run our own line if we need to. The installation, this is I think pretty interesting and pretty important to the operators. The installation can be done in 3 to 4 days, and we've typically been doing them at night, which means there's no pool downtime and there's no disruption to members. So it works out very well. It's very efficient, and it seems to be the preference. Nobody wants to shut down a pool or disrupt their members. And then recently, what we've done is we've taken both of these tools and we've built in contactless activation, meaning because they can now own their tag, they don't have to go and retrieve it from somebody. They can just pick up, they can just have their own tag, have it with them, go to the pool, you pinch it to start it, you jump in the water. You come out, you're done. It's that simple. So it's contactless, but it's also, we have social distancing built in. Very simple. If 2 tags get within 6 feet of each other for, I think it's 10 plus seconds, both tags light up, both tags start lighting up, notifying both people that, hey, they're too close, they need to separate. Okay. So that's how both systems work. It's pretty simple, but it's very effective, very reliable. And I just wanted to share with you a couple of facts from the YMCA in Southlake. It's in Crown Point, Indiana. It's a beautiful facility, a very new facility, one of the larger YMCAs. So I just wanted to share a couple of bits of information. One of the things that our technology offers and our system offers is a dashboard. So every Monday, this is updated with all of these metrics. Total sessions by week, different users that use it by week, comeback users, the amount of miles or lengths or meters swab, and you can slice it and dice it in just about any way you want. One of the interesting things about this YMCA, we started it we started talking to them or looking at their facility in October. We implemented it in November. So these numbers are from November to mid-March, when unfortunately everything closed down. We had, if you take a look in the upper left, total sessions, if we equalize March, if we just simply, since that's a mid-month number, if we just doubled it, we saw a 7-fold increase in sessions while this thing was, after we first implemented it and opened it up to the public. And at this point in time, obviously, it was just free. There was no membership, no anything. But one of the interesting things that we saw took place was if you take a look at the different users, they had 236 different people use it. 151 came back. That's a 64% adoption rate, which is very high. So we were very pleased about that. And collectively, at that point, mid-March, they had swam over 2 million yards using Nagy. So that was something pretty pleasing to see for us, because one of the main reasons for that is that was before all of the upgrades and enhancements that we put into place. So the membership program, tag ownership, the app, the screens, contactless, social distancing. It was all before, these numbers were all before any of this, and we didn't even promote this. When we installed it, we were curious to see what would be the general reaction to it. And so we really didn't promote it other than help answering questions that people may have. And so we feel very comfortable and very confident that these numbers will substantially increase, obviously, as things get back to normal. The other piece to this is part of our Nagy Guard. One of the reports that we use and we shared with the YMCA was this report, where what it does is it's a recap of the response times of every tag that was activated and the response times relative to the first alarm and then the second alarm. And these numbers they're made up. They're all the same numbers, as you can see. But the way it works is if a yellow tag goes off at 10:44:56, okay, it goes off at this time, it will tell you at what time the red one went off. If it went off, it might not go off. Because if you look down here, you can see where there was a there was a yellow alert and then nothing. And that just means that they just turned the yellow alert off. But it'll let you know when it was turned off. So this report will let you know for every incident when the first alarm went off, how quickly it was responded to, and then if the second alarm went off, when it went off, and how quickly it was responded to. And the Y was telling us, one of the aquatics director brought up a good point and said that this would be an excellent tool for audits, evaluations, training, risk mitigation evidence for insurance companies and such, which is true. So this has a lot of practical use. It's not just used, it's just not to have a report on how the system's working, but it's got practical use included. So that's the Nagy Smart Pool, okay? A lot there, but it's a very simple, very reliable, very smart system. At this point, I wanted to talk to you about our next product, which is called Social. As you all know, COVID's changed everything, and you know, from how we work to where we work. Really, I mean, we're all working from home, or most of us are, and the implications are really something that will affect employees and employers both. So this is a product that we feel will responds to this new normal, if you will. So how it works. Basically, it's a Bluetooth-driven real-time social efficiency, if you will, system that analyzes workspace productivity, but also provides safer environments for the employee, for the member, for guests, whomever may be in your environment. And it's a great example too of taking an effective, stretchable technology, Quuppa's technology, and applying it to a different space, right? We went from the aquatics to the entire, let's say, workspace, office building, whatever it may be. So I'm going to show you another quick video to give you an idea of how it works. This is something that we started about 3 months ago, about 2-3 months ago. And it was really at the behest of a lot of our current customers asking if, because we did tracking, is there anything that they can do to help track employees and guests? And so we'll give you give you this quick video to take a look at an idea how it works. Okay, thanks, Jesse. So the social solution really started out being a social distancing solution for us. Like I said, we had a lot of companies calling us up, but it quickly grew to a more robust, comprehensive solution for business, for sports, for turning workspaces and play spaces into, safer, more efficient areas, kind of a smart space, like it says. the solution is very scalable. So, it can manage and optimize your space both inside and outside the building. It optimizes spaces, aquatic centers, tennis courts, basketball courts, whatever it may be. And the significance to that too is we know we've all heard that the COVID's going to change how people and where people work, right? And so we've heard, or at least I've heard, anywhere from 5 to 30% of employees may end up working from home permanently. Well, if that happens, many buildings are going to have to, or many operators are going to have to kind of rethink how they allocate the space within their facilities, within their buildings. Do they need more offices, different offices, smaller offices? Do they need more, conference rooms, whatever it may be? But based on the amount of people that will be in their buildings on a daily basis, there's going to be a need to rethink space optimization, and that's what this tool does. The way it operates simply is with a band. So it's the wearable technology again, but you simply wear a band, and it gives you it's a point. It can be, if you want to do it to this extent, you can integrate it further where it can be a complete single point of identity or access or information. So in other words, an employee comes in, he uses this instead of his badge. He uses this to open up a locker if they've got it integrated to that extent. Parking lots, where parking lots are closed, you can use the band to get yourself in and out. Data, how many people are in rooms, how many, is there social distancing within the rooms, and so forth. And it also allows you to connect with your members or your guests or your employees on a daily basis. I mean, it really does bring you closer to your, let's say, employees at this point. The other thing we mentioned before is a social distancing does track your outdoor activity. So you can have your indoor and outdoor activity all in one place. So people that go to a health club and they do certain things inside, and then maybe they run outside because they prefer running outside. It can all be captured and it can all be stored in one place. Okay. Some of the other things that it does, we talked about the instant transfer of information. So if you're a building or a landlord or you're, the head of HR or whatever, and you want to see what's happening with your personnel, your workforce, you can pull up at any time to see where things are. You can see what the loads in rooms are. Do I have too many people in a room? Do I have a room that's not getting the level of usage that we thought it would? Heat mapping. This can tell you how many people are using which rooms most often. It allows you, as a result, to maximize your space. Maybe you change how you're going to format a new building or a different building or your current building. Evacuation plans. I've been through all kind of fire drills where once everybody's outside, then the counting begins, and it's kind of crazy. But this would be a very important tool as it relates to any type of an emergency need to evacuate the building. And then controlling your assets. This is a very easy way to tag your assets so you know where they are at any one time. So there's security, benefit there. There's financial benefits to that. But it is more than just social distancing, and we thought about that because we don't think this is the last time there's going to be a COVID of some sort, but we do think that it will. There's always going to be a reason to be able to protect the people that are in our workspace or play space. But we think there's a lot of other ways by simply leveraging the existing same technology. We think there's other values and benefits it can bring to organizations. So that's the social aspect. That's a social tool. And now I just want to spend a little bit of time talking to you about NBN 23. I just have two quick slides here. Like I had said, NBN 23 is our basketball solution. And yes, we got very creative. We went from NBN Sports Tech to NBN 23. So no surprise how we got there, but it basically is a tool to help design, designed to elevate the organization's game and the basketball experience. And we say the organization's, your organization's game and the experience because it's both for tournament organizers, and then it's also for players and fans. We have 3 products. One's called Competition, Performance, and Switch app. I'll take you through briefly each of those. The competition solution does a number of things. It's used for back office scheduling, back office logistics. If you've ever talked to somebody who operates one of these tournaments that might have 1,000 teams, 12,000 players, referees, the amount of organization and back office logistics is incredible. So it is a tool that would help an operator do all of that in one place. It's an in-game app. As you can see right there, it's the core. This replaces the paper and pencil scorecard. This is where you do it all electronically. You tap the player's number, and then you tap what he just executed: a foul, a rebound, a steal, a point, a 2-pointer, a 3-pointer, what have you. The beauty of it is once you've digitized all of this data and statistics, you can do a tremendous amount of things with them and save a tremendous amount of time. And then it also feeds a fan engagement app. The second thing that it does is its performance. And this is where the live and advanced tracking comes in. And this is what Quuppa helped us do. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, the NBA, there was a lot of talk about players wearing wearables. And so the NBA created a vetting process. And they brought in about, I think it was 20 or 30 companies came in and said, here's our technology, our tracking technology, our wearable technology. We want to submit this for approval. And they ended up only approving 7 companies' technology, and ours was one of them. And that just goes to show how effective, how reliable, how exact it is. And Lakers are one team right now that are using it actually in practices. But it's used with Valencia basketball. It's used with a number of different facilities. And then the third tool is our app. We call it Swish. And this is a tremendous, tremendous app. It's probably the most comprehensive basketball fan app out there. You can follow your favorite competition, your players, your teams, your tournaments globally. I think we're tracking over 300 different tournaments around the world. You can get statistics at the team level or at the player level. And then there's maps. You can have maps to see who scored what from where, along with all of the other rebounds, steals, and so forth. So it's a very exciting app, and it's getting a lot of play right now from a lot of organizers, tournaments, leagues, and such. So that brings us to the Q&A. So Jesse, I will hand it back to you, and we're fairly close to being on time.
Yes, thank you very much, Ed. It was a very informative presentation and got some great things in there. Just while Ed's getting his breath back a little bit after that long webinar, we will, if you have any questions, there are a couple of questions coming in from the GoToWebinar platform. Again, if you do have any questions now, feel free to put it in there, and we can take over that. Go through that now. Just while we're waiting, if you do want to get in touch with us at all, anything related to Quuppa, you want to find out more about our technology or partner with us to leverage the power of Quuppa technology, then get in touch with Tom Ruth, tom.ruth@quuppa.com, or alternatively you can visit our website or contact us through our marketing. If you're looking for something more solution-led, you can contact NothingButNet directly and contact Ed there. We've got his email address, as well as the links to the Nagy Smart Pool, social distancing, and NBN 23. Yeah, we will make the recording of this webinar available to everybody who attended or everybody who registered for this webinar, and we'll also make the slides available as well. So don't worry too much if you missed something, because we will try our best to get that back to you. So we've got a few questions coming in now. Let me have a look. All right, the first question that we've got, what does the name Quuppa stand for? Well, I could probably take this one actually. So the name Quuppa is actually a Finnish word for a scoop that's used in Finnish saunas for pouring water on the stove. So it's a bit of a nod to our Finnish heritage there. But the reason it was chosen was because the first prototypes of the actual Quuppa locators did resemble that kind of half moon as a scoop kind of shape, and they were originally made out of wood, so hence the name. That's quite an easy one there. Let's have a look at what else we've got here. Ed, this is probably one for you. What if the swimmer doesn't wear a cap or goggles? How would they be able to track using a tag?
Yeah, so what we would do is, although we're finding more and more people are wearing one or the other, there are people that don't yet. Sometimes it's kids. We have a headband, and we would it's a headband that they would wear. And we, the thing that we've been talking about with these is, it's an interesting way to get kids to wear something too, because you can brand them, Ninja Turtle, brand them, whatever the thing is nowadays, but you can do some really neat, fun branding with them. The YMCA's, they're inexpensive. So the YMCA's or the facility could be giving them out free to their kids and so forth. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Or it could just be a basic band if it's more, let's say it's an adult or someone, it could just be a basic band.
Okay. Fantastic. We've got another one here. Could you say something a little bit more about the battery lifetime when it comes to fast moving tags?
Yeah, our battery and our tag, it's 3,000 hours is how long a tag, the battery in a tag will last, which depending on how much you swim is anywhere from 14 months to 16, 17 months maybe. But what we've done is we've in the membership, that's the reason why we've included a free tag, because there's no need to even worry about battery life then. Every year you get a new tag. So.
And on the Quuppa technology side is that we have the ability to communicate to many Quuppa compatible tags where you can adjust their transmission when active or when in a certain zone, as an example. It's actually one of the things that we do in hockey, and obviously it's used in these cases too, is whenever you have something that's transmitting at a fairly rapid pace, you only want it to do that when it's in the zone. So that's one of the tag management strategies that we have. And of course, you can commercially extend that to other examples as well.
Okay, perfect. We are just running a little bit out of time now, so let's take one more question from online. There's been a few that kind of are in the same area here. It's about basically developing the solution into something like soccer or football, or using the basketball model that we've got. Is it easily replicated into other sports like handball? Is the tracker inside the basketball, or is there any planned development to move further than that?
Is that for us?
Yeah, Ed, okay. I'll put that one to you.
Well, it's not. It can be done because I did it at Spalding. It can be done, but what you really want to look at is what's the user case for it, because it has to. For example, the NBA didn't yet approve, and they may eventually, but they did not approve tech in the ball for play. So it really depends on how it's going to be used, but it can be done. It's already been done. It's just a question of what exactly you're trying to achieve and what the protocol or what the limitations are relative to the organization that you're developing it for.
Yeah, sure. Tom, did you have any input on that one?
No, I think that pretty much addressed it. And again, in a variety of different circumstances, there's it certainly would require the ball manufacturer to find a way to insert that tag into the ball. But that's certainly the at the Quuppa level, which is, as you guys understand, is a very fundamental technology. It's used in all these different use cases. So yes, technically it could be, derived for a variety of different sports, but that's up to the business owner, the people that take our technology and create the offer around it.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, I think that's all we've pretty much got time for today. If you have a question that wasn't answered already, we will be getting back to all the questions that were asked. So no fear. And like I said, we will get the recordings and the slides sent over to all the registrations for this webinar. So I just, from my part, I'd like to thank everybody for attending, and thank you, Ed, thank you, Tom, for some fantastic presentations. And I guess I'll see you guys on the next one.
Sounds great. Thank you, everybody.